The succession war may not end for another 10 years at least. Hello and welcome back to Suck War Central. My name is CJ, and while the end of this death game is still a very long way off, we're likely to make a bit of progress towards that in the near future. At the time of recording this video, Togashi has a whole 8 chapters ready to drop, and last time he put anything out, only 4 were this level of fully prepared in advance. So, while we wait on Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo to end, I thought I'd list, and no, I do not mean list and discuss, I just mean list, because trust me, we do not have time for that. Every single hanging plot thread left that I feel needs to be, should be, or will be addressed before this arc ends. To make things simpler for all of us, I'm gonna sort these into 3 categories: general mysteries, character mysteries, and net ability mysteries. Now, there's really not much else to be said. I think it's time to get going. Kicking off the general mysteries, what the hell is gonna happen with Pariston's 5,000 Chimera Ants? Why does Pariston even think he can control them? Are there 1 or more sleeper agents within the Hunter Association that Kurapika was unable to uncover? How many people are actually participating in the succession war? Nugui never did clarify, and now that we know that any legitimate child of one of the king's wives can participate, we do not know how many kids there are involved in this fight. What are the actual conditions on the 3 sacred treasures, and what are the rules of the succession war? On that note, when it comes to the princes interpreting the sole survivor at their discretion, how much discretion is that? When can they decide on a winner? Is a bloodless succession war even possible? And what the hell's this coffin room? Speaking of which, Nasabi identifies himself as part of the ritual and says he can't die until it ends. What exactly defines the moment he can die? And is he being honest, or does he just mean his guardian spirit beast will protect him? What are the methods Bill was talking about to escape the Black Whale, one of which requires Pariston's help, and one of which requires Beyond's help? Why was there a rumbling of aura when Sumadori had Shikaku commit suicide in front of Lazarus's room? Who did Hulk use his ability on? Was it, perhaps, Rice, the guard who answered the door and was seen getting to his feet as if he was disoriented? Additionally, are all the incorrect theories about Shikaku's suicide that Basho and Conjugal are coming up with ever going to lead anywhere? And is Lazarus even still alive? After all, Melody, Kaiser, and Fugetsu were supposed to try and assassinate him the night before martial law was declared. What exactly is the martial law situation? Were Halkenberg and Terror Sandwich actually both involved? What happened to Balsamicanberg? How did Benjamin get poisoned? Is Hulk still alive in some form? Where is the ritual site on Tier 1 where the national treasures of the succession war are being held? Moving into character mysteries now, is that severed head in Terror Sandwich's quarters actually Pyro? Is Terror Sandwich's tattoo artist, a former Heili member, truly connected to the Phantom Troop? Is he connected to Morena, or did her takeover happen after he retired and thus have nothing to do with him? Who was the liaison Terror Sandwich disassembled after learning Morena had betrayed him? How will his desire to kill Morena himself affect the struggle against the Heili? Similarly, Terror Sandwich really wants Melody to privately play her flute for him. How is that going to complicate things? When, exactly, is Terror Sandwich going to question Theta? What horrors await her? Also, he said he was going to spar with Salkov once his Zetsu timing dropped below 1 second, and last we saw it was 3.47 seconds. Did he ever reach that before martial law, and did they spar? Did Salkov learn anything of value? Probably not, because Salkov is an idiot. Speaking of Melody, Terror Sandwich isn't the only prince who wants to meet her. Zonglei, Benjamin, Tebepa, and Lazarus are all also after her. Have any of them made a move to grab her since martial law started? Also, Zonglei gave Melody a coin. How is that going to pay off? How are Kurapika and Mizaistom going to justify arresting Sayu without blowing up internal tensions within the Zodiacs? Speaking of Mizaistom, is he ever going to tell Kurapika that the spiders are aboard the ship? And if he doesn't, is Kurapika going to find out on his own? How is that going to happen? Why does Halkenberg seem to hate the rest of his family except for Terror Sandwich of all fucking people? Is Kurapika's theory that it's due to discontent and alienation truly accurate? Additionally, how long has Hulk known who his real mother is? What's his relationship like with Unma? Publicly he criticizes all the royals, but he seems to have a good relationship with her, if that phone call is anything to go by. What was that sinister flash of aura from Woble's crib on day 1? Was it Woble's guardian spirit beast or something else? Will Wobol's beast even manifest in time to make a difference? Are Tokorina and Gel ever gonna kiss? Kurapika has working alliances with Zhongle, Halkenberg, and Tabeppa. Will these alliances be honored or gain him any benefit? And how long will they prove compatible for? Will Tabeppa be able to undermine Kurapika's alliance with Zhongle as she intends to? Will Tabeppa successfully determine Yushohi and Rihan's net abilities as she's currently trying to do by reviewing surveillance feeds? And will Camilla also obtain this information, since anything Tabeppa learns through Dwazzel's guards goes through Camilla as well? Tabeppa's also agreed to withdraw from the succession war if Zhongle wins in order to get the other princes to target him and not her. How is this going to work out for her? What is Bobby Mina's mission in Wobol's room, and what are the undisclosed changes from Vincent's mission that Benjamin revealed off-screen? Why is Bobby Mina reluctant to share information with Furikov? What are his true allegiances and motivations? Will the fact that he mistakenly believes Bill is a manipulator with the ability to control small animals cause him to make a mistake of some kind? Why did Bobby Mina look perturbed and distracted after Longhe's conversation with Kurapika? Will Izunavi successfully get Nasabi to read Tyson's Book of Love? What is the truth of Fugetsu's condition? Was she cursed? Was it self-imposed? Or was it a combination of factors? Where did that mark on her come from? We know it's not Luzurus's beast, as Kacho Beast thinks, because the Guardian Spirit Beasts can't attack other princes. Also, now that Fugetsu can teleport into any prince's room, is that going to become relevant? And aside from Halkenberg, Terror Sandwich, and Benjamin, who else got their dirty laundry exposed in Kacho Beast's letters, and what were their secrets? Speaking of which, Benjamin suspects the Justice Bureau's involvement. Does he believe that they're on Fugetsu's side, and if so, how will he proceed as he tries to impose martial law? Did 7th Queen Savanti ever manage to get into custody with Fugetsu, and did this have an impact on the assassination attempt of Luzurus? Is Furikov in the Nasabi files? Is Rihan going to successfully defeat Tabeppa's beast? When it comes down to it, is Bill going to side with Kurapika or with Beyond? What about Sayurd? What's going to happen to Sayurd in prison? How exactly does Shimano have such detailed information on the other princes' personalities? It could just be gossip, but I do suspect there's more at play. Where the heck does Bellorante sleep at night now that he's been kicked out of room 1013? What is Koventoba going to do with the secret first coin he got from Zhonglei's beast? Will Kurapika be able to follow his plan and use Koventoba as an excuse if Zong realizes Kurapika hasn't told him everything he knows and suspects about the coins? What is Illumi actually doing as a part of the Spiders? Why was he on Tier 3 the Black Whale and not Tier 1 even though he has a VVIP ticket and knows that Hisoka wouldn't be caught dead slumming it on the lower tiers? How are the Cha'ar family planning to kill the Phantom Troop? And why is their underboss, Kenny Wang, working with Morena? Speaking of Morena, what's the Joker up her sleeve Wang mentions? What's the organ? All we know is that it's something a transmuter can do. And also, why does Morena want a specialist? Is Volkson going to serve the role of spy on Terror Sandwich? Or is she primarily going to do whatever Morena wants a specialist for? And what made Morena make the leap from Kakin must be destroyed to the world must be destroyed? She explained her backstory, but she never explained how she got from A to B. Also, how did Morena manage to get her hideout built into the bulkhead where she did? That's way more difficult to arrange than the hideouts the other Mafia families have. Also, will Morena end up on the sex offender registry? How is Cashew's scheme to manipulate the Royal Army's investigation progressing? Damon, Tavalaris, and Quarrel leveled up a ton to go fight Henry. Did that ever go down? When Dogman encountered Krollo, did they interact? Will Tsudanke ever get that autograph from all the Phantom Troop members, or will they all be dead first? Why is Krollo lying to Benolanov and Shizuku about his plan? What is his backup plan in case he dies? What net ability is he looking for? What's gonna happen to Franklin, all alone on the lowest tier and away from Hisoka? Is Nobunaga gonna go back for him as he suggested once or twice? What is Machi doing? And why is she off by herself? Why is she just chilling in a standard passenger cabin? Did Hisoka sense Benolanov? What's Benolanov gonna do now that he's spotted Hisoka? And why did Krollo leave the number 9 spot open? Is he going to disband the Spiders as Benolanov believes? Nobunaga's going back alone to fight the Heili. How is that gonna go for him? Finks and Phaeton were set to attack the Heili hideout. How did that go? Who is Kaiser really working for? What are his true goals and motivations? Is he being manipulated as Melody suspects, or is my personal pet theory that he has a pacemaker true? And what does the button he gave Steiner in case of martial law do? Also, is Kaiser acting as an agent of the Justice Bureau and their plans, or is he working for himself or someone else? Also, why is Kaiser so bloodthirsty? Remember, before Fugetsu fell ill, he was talking about wiping out all the upper princes. Are Camilla's suicide guards ever gonna do anything? What happened when Sarahel attended Kurapika's second Nen class to try and assassinate Wobble? What are the GU going to do now that they know Hisoka was an imposter? Are they going to try to figure out Manolinov killed Lynch? And if so, are they going to succeed at identifying the culprits as the spiders? And if so, how do they plan to avenge her when they know they wouldn't stand a chance against the troop? Despite what Henry says, does he actually plan to avenge Lynch? Or is he just lying to appease Zakuro? What's a Volkson gotta do now that she's part of Contagion? What's her plan to get levels? When is she going to fulfill the final condition of joining Contagion by witnessing a Hale Lee murder? What's she going to tell Odishin and the other soldiers? Since she's apparently friends with Theta, is she going to try and contact her? Since she knows everything about the Hale Lee from her question during the negotiation game, who is she going to share that info with? Are the Hunter Association going to realize just how corrupt and in bed with the Mafia the army is, to the point of tampering with autopsies? And will they, like Mamoli suggested, then spark an all-out war with the Mafia? I personally do not think so, but how will it affect their behavior? You've also got to remember that Terror Sandwich's childhood friends all want to try and fix him. Obviously they'll fail, but how the hell is that gonna play out? Also, Volkson said they should make a plan in case Morena catches one of them. Since Morena did catch her and the others have realized, are we going to see that plan in action? Who is Beyond's secret princely child? Does he have more than one? Who are his other children aside from Longhi, Makaha, and Salkov? Why is Beyond so intent on meddling in the succession war when before it seemed like he was just using the Kakin Empire as a pretense for his own smaller expedition to the Dark Continent? Also, who did Beyond ask Kanzai to let him speak to? Even if Kurapika doesn't complete his contract with Tebepa, remember that he has a second private one with Longhi to kill Beyond's child, enforced by Moonlit Decree. Will he complete this contract and gain a single use of Moonlit Decree? What will he do with that ability? Kurapika offered to reveal the contents of Fugetsu's letter to anyone who showed up for Nen training. Did this accomplish anything? How exactly did Hisoka find out about Halkenberg's ability? Has he contacted a prince as Krollo suspects? What is the status of all the missing princes? And last but not least, let's talk Nen abilities. Now, I'm not going to consider, the abilities of every single Nen user we haven't seen in this category. I'm not gonna go, ooh, Sun Bin from the Cha-R family, he's a Nen user, but we haven't seen his Hatsu. What does he do? We have to see it before the arc ends. But I will list the ones I think Togashi is either guaranteed or at least highly likely to show us before this arc concludes. So let's begin. What is Kenny Wang's Nen ability? We understand Mizai Stomp's control card, but what do his admittance and expulsion cards do? On the first day, we saw the Nen beasts go crazy. Who do these jellyfish and this worm belong to? We know what Tebepa's Nen beast does, but how exactly do we go about using it, and what are its limits? What are the conditions for Camilla's beast to control someone? And does her Hatsu have any weaknesses that would allow her to be killed? What exactly happens when Terra Sandwich's Nen beast turns someone not human? What does his specialist Nen beast do? Is it connected to Parallel Future? What does Benjamin's beast even do, period, aside from this minor exorcism of curses, but I don't think that's its main ability. What about his inherited abilities, of which he has Air Blow, Cold Sept, Secret Window, and one Mystery Hatsu? None of those abilities have been fully revealed to us. Air Blow is some kind of attack, Cold Sept can allegedly seal Nen abilities in his manipulation type, although we know nothing beyond that, and we've never seen it in action, and Secret Window has 3 birds, of which we've only had the conditions of 1 explained, and seen 2. What's the 1 taboo of Tyson's book, and what's the punishment for those who break it? Presumably, the taboo itself is violence, but Togashi did go out of his way to say the 1 taboo instead of those who commit violence when he was narrating, so it's good not to assume things. Also, what is that beast accumulating Nen to do exactly? What are the rules of Marion's pocket dimension? Can it be breached from the outside? Can anything disable it? Is there a way to re-enter after exiting? What does Zhonglei's fuck-ass meme coin do? What are the conditions one must fulfill? What abilities does it give the people who fulfill those conditions? Reminder, the narrator does state that these coins can give people Nen abilities, which is crazy. Does it induce manipulation in the target as Kurapika theorized? Do you redeem the coins by sticking them in the beast's mouth as Kovan Toba theorized? How do different owners affect the coin's properties? Can Haukenberg or his soldiers use the Nen abilities of the people he's possessing? Also, can Grimal Le Dissonance target other princes or not? Does Katrabi drain Fugetsu's aura to keep active? How does she work exactly? Is she running entirely off post-mortem Nen? Clearly she has some special abilities aside from just being a doppelganger, like walking through walls and hanging out on the ceiling, so what else can she do? What is Bobby Mina's Nen ability? All we know is that it's counteractive type. Who is Silent Majority's user? What are Theta and Salkov's abilities, and can they do anything against Terror Sandwich? Can Morena actually fully surveil people who have been infected with contagion beyond what she's admitted to, and watch their every move, as multiple characters have theorized? What are the rules of Morena's hideout? Since Morena is past level 20, has she gained another ability besides contagion? This one's worth asking, because multiple sources have said multiple things about it. And by multiple sources, I do mean multiple translations. What's Paragord's Nen ability, and why was he hoping to get hit by Henry's knife? Is there any truth to the rumor of Kenny Wang's smile being cursed, and is that some kind of Nen ability used by him or someone else? Every member of the Phantom Troop is said to have an ace in the hole on top of their normal ability. We've seen most of them, but what about Machi, Nobunaga, and Franklin's? And what's Nobunaga's regular ability anyway? All we know is that it's, according to Shalnark, easy to replace. Does it have anything to do with him seeing that he and Henry were in a Nen space, or does it have to do with his so-called replica sword? Is Kaiser, as Melody suspects, secretly a manipulator who's manipulating himself and pretending not to be an Nen user? What's the trigger for the curses placed on Beyond Netero's children? Is there any way to disable them? Will they trigger one at a time or all go off at once? What's the difference between strong curses and weak curses? Do they have different triggers? Is the difference in their strength due to how long they take to take effect, or how severe the symptoms are, or what? And there you have it, folks. See, what I tell you, just asking the questions took way too long. But I'm sure we'll get some answers with the next batch of chapters, and even if that's not for a while because Gege Akutami decides that actually he wants Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo to go for 60 chapters or whatever, I'll do my best to theorize on as many points as I can. For now, though, I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you enjoyed this whole list. I hope it helped clear a few things up. I mean, it was all asking more questions, but like, I hope it helped you remember a few things that you'll have to keep in mind for, you know, the next batch of chapters, which, hopefully soon. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day.